Welcome to Universe, a series of discussions based on the concepts of ancient wisdom, our Vedanta. I'm here with Kuldeep sir, and he will answer this question that came about from a conversation I had with a friend recently. The question is, when the world is becoming closer with technology, where does that leave man and his journey of life?
Yes, physically you may be close, but mentally you have separated from everyone. Each man today is an island to himself. The topic of today's discussion is how has man pushed himself from happiness to depression? In the first half of the 1900s, man was absolutely in tune with nature. We would rise with the sun and would sleep with the sun because there was no power. Our whole life was governed by the sun. And then later on, man's ingenuity produced electric connectivity, and the bulb came into prominence. It was the era of electricity. The moment electricity came, man separated from nature because now he could sleep whenever he would like. He had the option choose. He had the choice to decide when to sleep. And slowly he started going against nature unconsciously, nothing conscious. So, in the process of going against nature, this was the first step against nature. He separated himself. I would call it the key word behind this whole subject is separation. He separated himself from nature. Now he thought he had the ability to work late, etc., enjoy himself late into the hours. And therefore, as a consequence of that, slowly, health problems started, sleep problems started. They started from a long time. It's not something which is of recent origin. This is how the first aspects of separation began to show up in terms of ill health, in terms of problems, etc. Now, after that, what happened was, then came further developments. You got the chemicals industry. We started with chemical fertilizers. We started without realizing it because yields grew tremendously, and famine was what averted. uh, there was tremendous happiness that now the same acre of land was able to give much more of a yield. And in the process, what happens, we started polluting mother earth with chemicals, of all types of chemicals, and we began to lose touch with mother earth, forgetting the fact that our bodies are derived from mother earth and that we are also a product of mother earth. Gradually we began to separate ourselves. We also began to separate ourselves from our loved ones. Let me tell you how it happened. Before electricity came, if you remember, there were no trains, there were no locomotives, nothing. In the early 1900s, if we had to travel from one village to, say, in our case, Mangalore was the main city. We were about 100 kilometers away. If we had to travel from our village to Mangalore, it was an overnight journey by bullock cart or by horse carriage or whatever it is at that time. And there were so many rivers to cross, etc. In that process of traveling, we had to stay overnight at somebody's place, and we would look for some relative, some close and dear one who's connected with us. And as a consequence of that need, we needed each other, and we would stay at that person's place overnight and take that comfort and then proceed further. So it took us time, but in the process of that travel, we met so many people. We came to know their families. It was a need as well as a bonding, need and bonding both together. That is what happened at that time. Electricity came, everything began to change. And then after that came, the train. But if you remember, even when we used to travel by train, if it was an overnight journey, at each station we would have some relative of ours who would come with a lunch packet to to make sure that we got fresh food, etc. on the train. So that was that bonding which continued. Once the aeroplane came in, once the flying crafts came in, time shrunk dramatically. What used to take one overnight journey now could happen in 2 hours. So our whole life shrunk, and from then onwards we became the slaves of time. So we, as a result of all these, I'm not blaming the light bulb, I'm not blaming the train, I mean the locomotive, I'm not blaming the aircraft. It was this inability of man to choose for himself what was good and what was bad. Probably it has been done, it has happened unconsciously, but that is what has happened. Today we have painted ourselves into a corner in our own life, and we have lost connections with everyone. We have lost connections first with Mother Nature. We abused her. Then we lost connections with our own social life. I will tell you how. We have lost connections with our personal, I would say, relationships. And finally, we have lost relationships with our own self. Today, we have reached a situation where each person is an island unto himself. How has this happened? Let me explain. The moment the computer came in, along with electricity, so many other industrial revolutions came in because of electricity. Then after that, locomotives came in, electric locomotives came in, the computer came in, and then after that, slowly came in the cell phone. And with the cell phone came artificial intelligence. And today, we have got also robots, which are, I would say, able to think by themselves. They've been programmed to think for themselves. With the result, we have now got robots which can serve us, which make us still more lazy. They become more and more separated from our own self. So today what has happened is we've reached a stage where we have lost connect with the outside world. Initially, we lost connect with the outside world, our relationships, our friends, etc. We hardly meet them now. Then we lost lost our connect with society. Then we lost friends with our relation. We lost relationships because of hardly any connects. Finally, we have lost touch with our own family members. And today we've reached a stage where we have lost touch with ourselves. We have reached a stage where today a wedding invitation is sent by mail or WhatsApp. A birthday greeting is sent by WhatsApp. How many people phone up for a birthday? Mostly people send on WhatsApp. How many people ring you for a wedding and come here? Originally, if you remember, for a wedding, families used to get together from all distant places. They would come and spend time together. It was a lot of camaraderie which used to happen there. It was such fun. All that fun has disappeared. And then to seal the nail in the coffin came the computer games. Earlier, game meant a team spirit. Earlier, a game meant friendship. Earlier, a team meant, fighting, etc. It was a lot of personal interaction. And you are physically active as well as mentally active. Today, what has happened with computer games coming in, and now virtual reality literally making its presence felt. Each one of us today are living in a virtual world in our own mind. Most of the time, we are occupied with ourselves, our problems, our issues, our body problems, etc. We have lost touch with Mother Nature. We have lost touch with the outside world. We have lost touch with ourselves finally. Today, you walk into a restaurant, a family is sitting, you have 2 kids, husband, wife. Each one of them are busy with their cell phones. When are they going to interact? Where is the time to interact? So we have lost touch with ourselves. Naturally, when that happens, you reach a stage where you may have 1,000 contacts on your cell phone. How many connects do you have? If there is any, if you have any trouble, if you face any problem, how many people are there whom you can call, whom you can depend on to come to your side? And we've reached a stage where we are all, each person is an island unto himself today. To offset this loneliness, I would say, people resort to keeping pets, etc., where they pour their love, they pour their emotions out on their pet. But a pet is a pet. There is a certain limit beyond which a pet cannot go. It can express itself very well, no doubt, but it cannot talk. It cannot really voice its advice to you, etc. So we have pinned ourselves into a corner. How do you get out of this? I think we can look at that as a separate session. We can try and have that session probably the next time. On the next occasion, we'll talk about how do you get out of this situation.
Great. So if you like what you're listening to in this series, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications right away. If you're curious about this subject, you can visit our website, unlearnliving.in, for more information. And if these conversations and discussions really intrigue you, I would strongly recommend that you join Sir's online course called A Course in Living, and which is a step-by-step approach to give you all the wisdom you need to improve your day-to-day life and living. If you have a question for us, you can email us at unlearnliving@gmail.com. And you can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for more information. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.